So, righty. Okay, students, here we go. You look so, oh, there we go. Can I get some smiles? Not even. Okay. Okay, let's get started. I want to introduce Ruth Easton from the University of Regina. Did you guys know that the University of Regina was established in 1911 and became a public university in 1974? Can you imagine? Okay, I believe Ruth, you are a co-host and you are good to go. Thank you so much, Ruth.
Thanks for the introduction, Kara. I'm just gonna get my slideshow set up here, hopefully without any hiccups. I haven't been on Zoom for a little while. Um, there we go. Okay, so I'm joining you today from Treaty 4. I'm here in Regina today, just in between being out on the road for some fairs. And I started at the University of Regina as a student in 2011, and I've stuck around as staff ever since. So I'm thrilled to be here today to give you just a brief overview of what we offer at the UofR. And I know there's also some resources for you to explore online because I won't be able to get into all of our programs in much detail here today. And so at the University of Regina, we're a mid-sized university. We have about 17,000 students, and that's across all of our campuses, including sites in Saskatoon and Prince Albert. As a still fairly small university, we're really focused on supporting your well-being, both academically. Of course, we want to see you succeed in your studies, but also your social, emotional, financial, helping you to take care of all of those parts of being a student as you go through your studies. So I'm going to start here by talking about some of the supports we have at the University of Regina for all of our students. And then we'll briefly talk about the programs that we offer and how you can go about applying for your studies at the U of R. So the first support I want to talk about is our Center for Experiential and Service Learning. This is a new unit on campus. It is also a bit of a mouthful for a title, but basically this is your hub on campus to learn about internship opportunities, volunteering opportunities, and one of my favorite experiences at U of R, the co-op work program. And so that gives you paid work experience as you go through your degree. So for any student in business, engineering, science, or arts, you can build in opportunities to work with employers across the province and the country and build that experience into your education. We also have a fantastic study abroad program. So if you're hoping to go and study somewhere around the world, you can start at the University of Regina, and after a year or so, connect with our study abroad office for supports in studying abroad for anywhere from 3 weeks to a full year. And for some of our students who are staying in residence on campus, we have a program where you can pay the same residence fees and tuition fees that you would pay to be at the U of R, but go and study in Spain or Germany or Peru or wherever you're interested in studying. And this can be done in English or it can be done in another language depending on what you're hoping to learn. We also obviously want to support your student well-being, and so we have our Student Success Center where you can drop in and have access to academic advising. We can help you find a tutor. They run workshops on note-taking, time management, etc. We have our Tatuao Center, which is the formerly the Aboriginal Student Center on campus, and a space on campus for supporting Indigenous students. So in particular, and I believe you have more information about this as well, Tatuao runs a program that we call the OMA program. It's a first-year cohort-based program for Indigenous students where you are set up in a group of students who will take the same set of classes in your first year. And you'll have mentors and tutors and people to help guide you through those classes, extra study sessions so that you can reflect on that, as well as a whole bunch of other supports just to help make that first year a little bit easier of a transition. Of course, the Tatawao Center also has just friendly folks available. It's a great place to go and study cultural programming, all of those supports that you might be looking for. And finally, we have our Student Wellness Center, and that's where you can find supports for any accommodations that you might need, access to nurse practitioners on campus, access to counseling services. So that's kind of a one-stop shop for your physical and mental health as you go through your studies. Of course, we have athletics. I don't know if we have any athletes in the room here today, but we have a variety of teams. So our intervarsity teams are playing at the U Sports level, and that includes basketball, cross country, hockey, soccer, swimming, track and field, volleyball, and our Rams football team. We also have a variety of varsity sports clubs, including like rugby, women's softball. These operate on a little bit of a different model, but they're still highly competitive. Our men's curling team just won nationals. So some really exciting teams there if you want to watch sports or you want to play sports. And of course, if you're at like my level of athleticism, we have our intramurals, so you can just stay active without playing at a competitive level. We also have a wide variety of student groups for you to participate in on campus, and that includes our student unions, which provide an advocacy role for students at the university level and also at each of our federated colleges. Our faculty societies run awesome events for students in the faculty. And then there are a wide range of student-run clubs and fine art clubs and ensembles that any student can join. So whether or not you are in a fine arts program, you can participate in the theater productions, join the choir, keep that part of your life active as you go through your studies. If you decide you want to live on campus, we have a range of options for you at the U of R if you're coming all the way to Regina. The perks of living on campus, all your utilities are included. It's a one-stop package for your accommodations. And you'd have 24/7 access to the staff to provide supports, lots of events and programs to support you as you go through, and I'll talk about those a little bit briefly here. So for first year students who are coming to Regina to live on campus, we offer a UofR priority program. You're automatically enrolled in this, and it includes all of those supports and services we talked about earlier with your academic supports and your mental well-being supports. We bring those right into your dorms on the main floor, so you can just access those without even leaving basically your apartment building. And then of course also social activities and classes on adulting, how to cook for yourself, how to do your laundry, things like that sometimes students are still learning as they come to university. We also offer the Student Village at Luther College. This is a smaller residence on campus, right on the main campus, all individual dorm rooms, again with 24/7 support, and all of your costs are included in the price. But it also includes access to the Luther cafeteria for your meals, free laundry, which is a great perk. You can just take your laundry downstairs to wash your clothes. And because it's a little bit smaller, it is a small community feeling in our residence. We only have about 200 students that we can host at Luther. At the U of R, we have 3 federated colleges. First one I'll mention is Campion College. Campion and Luther are physically connected on campus, and Campion is looking to support the whole student, intellectual, spiritual, and social well-being. They offer some additional financial supports, one-on-one academic advising, which you'll find at every federated college, as well as some student support services in addition to what we offer at the U of R. If you are interested in a program in arts, in science, or in media art and performance, you can register through Campion College. First Nations University of Canada is our second federated college. And First Nations University of Canada is a bit different from the other two federated colleges in that they have a campus in Regina. That's the beautiful building that you see in the slides here. They also have sites in Saskatoon and Prince Albert, and the programming that's offered at First Nations University varies a little bit by which site you're at. Of course, offering a supportive environment that supports First Nations cultures, languages, and values. With First Nations University of Canada, you can do any program in arts, science, and media art and performance that's offered at the UofR, and we'll talk a little bit about where to find the list of those programs too. But you can also do Indigenous business, Indigenous social work, and Indigenous education. And I think you'll have a presentation from First Nations University later today, so I won't say too much more. But yeah, it's one of 3 federated colleges. So here you can see that some of the programs are available at all of our sites. Indigenous Business and Public Administration, of course, is available at the Northern Campus at Saskatoon and Regina. Indigenous Languages available at the Northern Campus and in Regina. There's a couple new programs, I believe, that are available only at the Northern Campus, and I'll let First Nations University talk more about that as well. Our final federated college at the UofR is Luther College, again, focusing on supporting the whole student, again, with some extra financial supports and one-on-one academic advising. One thing that we do at Luther to support our students is our course bundles that give you a cohort experience in first year. And so we have one for people who love science or really want to go into medicine or dentistry or something like that. And that is our English science bundle. And our crime and justice bundle is for students who are interested in crime and how that operates. And so it takes true crime stories and things like that and brings it into your English and psychology. Now, a question for you. I don't think I'll be able to take the answer over Zoom here, but students who register through a federated college do receive a UofR degree. So it's a great option for you if you're looking for a little bit more support, a smaller community, maybe to stay a little closer to home. But you'll be working towards a degree granted by the UofR. Now, very briefly, at the University of Regina, we have more than 150 different programs in 11 different faculties. And I apologize, my phone is ringing here. So we have your arts and science and media art and performance that you might first think of when you think of university. We also have programs in education, nursing, social work, business. Our social work program is the only social work undergraduate degree in the province. And so that is a great option for you if you're looking at getting into counseling or working with people. The nursing program is available in Regina and in Saskatoon. So you're able to do that direct entry program closer to home or come to Regina, whatever works for you. Yeah. If you're hoping to come to the UofR, a couple deadlines to think about for those of you in grade 11 right now. As you go into grade 12, our applications will open in October, so you'll be able to apply then. The process is really just pick a program that matches your interest. In our view book, you can see, and like towards the back of the view book, even the virtual one as well, you can see what the admission requirements will be by faculty. And so that's helpful for you to see what classes you might need to take in grade 11, grade 12 to be eligible to go into the program you're interested in. And then just submit your application. Have your school guidance counselor or whoever is responsible for this at your school send us an unofficial copy of your transcript, and we can make a decision on your conditional acceptance. If you apply by March 15th, you are automatically included in our automatic entrance scholarships. And if you're interested in nursing, you need to apply by February 15th. We do 1 intake per year, so that is a very firm deadline. This is just kind of an overview of what we look at for conditional admission. So you'll see that we're looking at 5 classes. We're looking at your grade 11 or your grade 12 marks, so your 20 or 30 level classes. And it varies a little bit depending on faculty, but typically we're looking for an English language arts, we're looking for a math or science. If you want to go into nursing or science or kin or engineering, we're looking for more math and science. Um, and other than that, a language or a social science class and our additional approved electives. The full list of those is also on the website. Now, as long as you apply by March 15th, as I mentioned, we'll put you into consideration for our automatic entrance scholarships. The scholarship you see there at the top, the U of R Chancellor Scholarship, is not automatic, it's application based. So if you're interested in applying for that, it's usually a much earlier deadline, so watch for that in the fall. And of course, you'll also have tons of other scholarships, awards that you can apply for, and student financial aid as well. So for final admission requirements, make sure you'll meet your final admission requirements. Those are a little bit different than early conditional. We need to see your final transcript, and we need that document by August 1st. I always recommend to students, if you're ready to apply, you can go ahead and order that transcript from the ministry anytime. They'll send it after your June exams if you ask for that, and that's a good way to make sure that's taken care of. Our application deadline for the nursing program, just a reminder that that is February 15th if you're interested in that. I also want to highlight that we have 40 different scholarships specifically for Indigenous students. Some of them are based on your academic achievement. Some of them are automatic. Some you have to apply for. Some look at your financial needs. Some look at housing needs. So don't rule yourself out if you're not like an academic superstar. We might still have scholarships and awards that would be a really good fit for you. If you're curious about band funding, I am not our recruiter who's an expert in this area, but we have folks on campus who are really helpful with this. But the basic message is that it depends on your band, but typically you'll need your acceptance letter, you'll need to talk to your post-secondary coordinator, and applying early is usually really helpful. We also offer dedicated supports for Indigenous students exploring their careers. So Kendra, who used to be our recruiter focused on schools, Indigenous schools across the province, is now our career coordinator, and she is super lovely, and she'll help you with resume prep, interviewing, and also finding a job. And she coordinates events and luncheons, internships. So there's a person for you to help you find those employment opportunities. If you'd like to connect with us, there's a few ways you can do this. If you want to start taking university classes while you're still in high school, we have a program called High School Accelerated. This allows you to take any class that we offer at the U of R as long as you meet the prerequisites, as well as a specific set that are developed for high school students that give you dual credit for high school classes as well. You can attend our events virtually and in person. We typically run a mix of online events and our in-person events. If you want to come for a tour, we're always happy to book you in. And we also offer in-person and Zoom enrollment counseling. And what that just is an opportunity to talk one-on-one with someone like me about like, what's your plans? Where do you want to go? What programs might be of interest? You can reach out to our enrollment services team to book any of these things. You can also reach out directly to me if you have questions. I'm at Luther, which is why my email is a little bit different, luther.recruitment@uregina.ca. And that 306-206-2117 is my phone number. Always happy to chat about all things U of R. And I believe that is it for me.
Thank you so much, Ruth. That's a lot of information right there.
It is an overwhelming amount of information, yes.
I'm wondering if you would want to put your contact information into our chat. So if teachers
Yeah.
would like to reach out to you, they might. I'd also like to know, is there a wait list if a student was coming from remote area and wanted to stay in the residence? Is there a wait list? Do they want to get on to that list sooner than later?
Right now, we are, I think, typically able to offer a spot in residence to every student who applies. Things slowed down a little bit during COVID, and we're just coming back up to full capacity. So I would always recommend applying early if you want to apply for residence because you get best room selection, you'll have your best choice. Our residence options range from Luther's all individual dorms. U of R's first year housing has dorms, studio apartments, 2 bedroom apartments, 4 bedroom apartments. So there's some options and some choice.
Awesome. Thank you. So, and the 40 different scholarships that are available, is there a link where parents and teachers can go to take a look at those scholarships that are available?
I don't know if we have a really simple way to find those. All of our scholarships at the U of R are housed in something we call SAMS, which is the Student Award Management System. And so it includes those 40 scholarships I talked about, as well as 600 or so other scholarships. But you can filter in that database for like specifically to Indigenous students as one of the criteria. So I'll put the link to SAMS. And what I always recommend is if you just want to browse, just sign in as a guest.
Okay, I will. I will. I've gotten questions from a few teachers and parents about just that because a lot of these scholarships you'd be applying for in your grade 12 year after you've been accepted, right? After you've been accepted to the U of R programs.
That's correct. And a lot of our entrance scholarships have the same March 15th deadline as that automatic entrance award. So applying in the fall and then working on scholarships in the winter typically means best availability. Now, I would note as well, First Nations University of Canada has their own set of scholarships with their own set of deadlines. So there may be other deadlines to pay attention to there as well if a student decides to go through a Fed college, because then you can apply for both.
I've heard, and I don't know if this is a question for you, but I've heard that a lot of these scholarships and grants go unused because people just don't know about them or don't apply for them. Is that, have you noticed that as well?
I don't know like the exact percentages, but I know certainly at Luther we have some that our academic office will ask me to really promote because we really want to give them away, and we haven't been able to award them in a couple of years. So, yeah, for sure. Uh, if it's a couple hours of work and it returns $400 for you, maybe even that's a really good return on the time. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wonder about when a student applies, like they can call you and get more information about different programs, or else their guidance counselors in the schools would be able to communicate with the University of Regina. I I know that for First Nations treaty people, their application process is very similar. And so in order, if you're applying, you need to get that acceptance letter from the university or the college that you're attending prior to applying for grant or living allowance, right? To be there. I'm curious to know if you were, and a friend of mine has her son at the U of S in residence. And what I found was the price for living in residence is very similar to what it would cost to get a 1 bedroom apartment, right? So it's very close. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the numbers that I have most easily accessible in my head are the Luther ones because that's the one I deal with most often. And the U of R is quite a bit more variable depending on which option you choose. But our cost for like the room can vary from about $620 a month plus your meal plan that you need to pay for, up to 1,500 a month for room and meals together, just as a package deal. So some of it is like you pick your room and then you pick your meal. Um, Your housing costs, I could pull them up pretty quick, but they're similar. Maybe they're like a little more expensive because Luther is a little smaller and cozier. It's kind of the affordable option. But yeah, by the time you've paid for an apartment and food and set it up, it's pretty comparable to stay on campus, and then you don't have to go outside if you don't want to. So
Right. Awesome. Okay, well, yeah, I want to open it up for questions from the students. Does anybody have any questions for Ruth from the University of Regina? Are there any teachers in the audience that might have a question or two? Ruth, I think we might have a question from Father Gamache in Fond du Lac. Do we have a question from Father Gamache?
No?
Hi,
No.
go ahead. Hello, hello. Did we miss your question or are you just saying hello?
Hello.
Good presentation. Okay, thank you very much, Father Gamache. Well, thank you, Ruth. We've recorded all of the sessions. We will be sharing the recordings on our website, and I will send you a link to that in the near future.
awesome. Well, thanks so much for having us. It was a pleasure to join in for the day. Yeah, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day with lots of awesome folks to learn from today.
Awesome. Thank you very much.